wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Yep, it's the world's most dangerous morning show, The Breakfast Club. Charlamagne the God, Angela Yee, and we got the legendary, the biggest boss, Rose. Rick Ross is on this morning. What's happening, Ross?
What's happening, family? What's happening, everybody?
What about those thighs, Rose? What about those thighs?
What about those thighs? Man, we made history with Thigh Stop, man. We created that with just an idea during the pandemic. We realized it was a chicken wing shortage one time for Charlie Morrison and the whole team at Wingstop, man, and we just made history. And it's looking like we finna keep going because it's winning big. Everybody love them thighs.
Did any other chicken parts come in yet, or is still a shortage?
No, we still focusing on those wings and those thighs.
Now, I know you have a preference when it comes to flats or wings. What's your preference?
Oh, without a doubt, flats. Flats any
Okay,
day.
me too.
You know what you're doing here. You know what you're doing.
Now, listen, you have this new book out, The Perfect Day to Boss Up.
Yes, indeed.
It's in stores today.
Yes, there's some great tips in here. You even mentioned our interview on The Breakfast Club and how you had to say that you were wrong and make a statement about that. And a lot of people won't do that, right? When they make a mistake or say something, they don't like to double back. Sometimes they double down.
No, when you make a mistake as a boss, you gotta admit the mistake and admit the way you learned from it. You dig? And that's how you move forward. And it's a great experience for your peers and everybody else around you to learn from your mistake. That's what makes it valuable.
You know, Ross, the introduction to the book is The Fungus Was Among Us. Are you staying fungus free?
I'm trying to stay fungus free. And the reason the intro to the book was The Fungus Was Among Us was because I was just coming down off of COVID. I was just coming down off the fungus.
Damn.
And my case of fungus was vicious.
Really? How bad was it?
Oh man, that was the first time my dick ain't get hard in 2 weeks. That was the first time in my whole life. I had the fungus.
Hey, you know they say that's one of the long-term effects of COVID.
No, don't tell me that.
No, for real.
I'm back though. Rose back, baby. Rose back.
But you was taking care of yourself. I saw you on the gram. You was at the house. You wasn't really playing around like that.
No.
This was before the pandemic. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I was at the promised land, so I was still doing what I do. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We were still staying busy. We got a lot of space to move around, so I ain't tripped.
You didn't even know what COVID was, though, right? When you first got it, because it was kind of before.
I had it before. They said what it was. So I just knew the situation I was in. I couldn't lay down and breathe. I had to sit up in the chair, and I said, "Damn, if I go to the hospital, my doctor and them gonna trip." I say, man, they gonna make me get in this mother. They gonna make. So I just had, my loved ones around me showing me a lot of love, and I sat up. I just was watching Forensic Files 24 hours a day.
I was gonna say, and during that time, you discovered a lot about yourself and your property too, because you do have Evander Holyfield's old mansion in Georgia. So what was that process like for you, having the time to actually see things that you've never seen before and make use of spaces you've never made use of before?
I actually found another room I never knew I had. That was a room behind the bowling lanes, and it was a room inside of another room. But anyway, I had time to do things that I really loved. Like, we was pulling weeds out, putting mulch down, planting plants. And, that's when I bought me a tractor. I just had time to do a bunch of different shit. So I did it. You know what I mean?
Have you been, did you travel at all?
During the pandemic, once it first came down, when it first shut down, I wasn't doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? Only person I wanted to go see was my mom, and she was tripping in. She ain't know, boy, that pandemic, that COVID, you know what I mean? So I stayed away from her for a few months, and I just spoke to her on the phone every day. But for everybody else, I was just staying low.
Right, and that's when you discover certain things that you want to do. Some people were like, I'm going to just figure out other ways to make money. Some people are like, I'm going to just take this break right now, but you still kept on working. And part of the reason why you wrote this book, from my understanding, is because of the pandemic, right?
Right. I actually wrote it during the pandemic. Me and Neil, we actually, he flew down 3 weeks at a time, kicking it with me. He may leave for a week, come back 3 weeks, and he just recording and writing down everything I'm saying. And I would start 6:30 in the morning and just go about my day. How do we take advantage of this time? How do we capitalize on every day we have? Right now I'm sitting here, I have my engineer print out these my 19 current partnerships that I have.
Wow.
How do we continue to elevate and go to these next levels? How do we stay ahead of the curve? How do I stay ahead of my partners having to even call and make a request for anything? You don't. I'm a boss. I'm gonna make sure everything is visible. That's what this is about. So that's what the whole book was about. We got to continue to move. So I got up in the morning, started getting on my IG more, my story more, just staying in touch with my fans and answering the questions they ask the most.
As a business owner, how did your franchises weather the pandemic, Ross?
Well, during the pandemic, man, we actually did maybe better than we ever have. By Wingstop being a small, you come in and pretty much pick up what you need and go. The major restaurants had to close down when Wingstop was still open. And then we know once them PPP checks hit, them boys wanted them wings. Them boys wanted them thighs. They wanted that ranch dressing, baby. They turned up. Wingstop was like never before. I'm gonna keep it all the way real.
And you opened another franchise, another Wingstop franchise during the pandemic as well.
Oh man, we kept working on this side. And to me, that's what being a boss was about. And every time I came to, and sat down with you guys, I made sure I reiterated the fact that when I came in the game, I told them every day I was hustling, and I meant that, just so they could get an idea of the type of hustler I was before we came in the game. And during the pandemic, shit, I ain't see nobody else still moving like Rose. I'm gonna keep it real, man. Shit, I bought 20 more cars during the pandemic. We kept going like it wasn't nothing because we doing this for real. And that's why we writing these books, so the youngsters could really, it's a difference between the ones who talking about it and the ones who really could show you about it.
I think I want to bring a Wingstop to my hometown, Ross. We got to talk about that.
That's too easy. Let's do it. As soon as we get off the phone, let's chop it up. Let's make it happen. We could be partners.
Absolutely. Now, let's talk about some of these commandments in the book, man. Chapter 16, never lay your Jesus piece face down.
Never. Never. You got to always hold the big homie at the highest. When anybody print anything for me at the top, don't give me nothing if it don't say God is the greatest at the top. And so that's just one of them things I came up with a long time ago. You never lay your Jesus piece face down. You got to make sure you faced up, let the sun shine.
Was there ever a time you laid it down and it wasn't face down and then something didn't go right?
Oh man, I'm sure it has. Because that's something that, through experience. You know what I mean? That was nothing that was, nobody told me that. That was just through experience. That's something you got to see and damn. And you got to sit back and really, what this mean? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You got to value that.
Now you're talking about those partnerships that you have that list of partnerships in front of you. One thing you discuss in the book is also making sure that partnerships you do make sense, right? It's authentic to who you are as a person. And you even talk about Evander Holyfield, and he didn't have the right partnerships. And that's part of the reason why he wasn't able to sustain the lifestyle that he had. So when it comes to you and your partnerships, what makes sense for Rick Ross, and what are some of those partnerships that you have now?
Well, if it's naturally something that I naturally adore, is it something that I naturally love? When it comes to cannabis, we got our own strand, Collins Ave. I look forward to us me and Berner opening our first dispensary on Collins Ave. It's gonna make $1 million a day. So when I look at my partnerships from Bamboo, Vion, McQueen, I love cognac, I love champagne. Rosé was a nickname, years back. Ethica, that's just the lifestyle. Rap Snacks, Wingstop, Checkers, Gate City Athletics. We finna help the athletes go to the next level. We finna show them how the business go. Now that the youngsters in college could get money, that's what we finna do. You know what I mean? Double MG, our partnership we just did with Dre's nightclub, the #1 nightclub in the United States. You know what I mean?
What's that? Was that
thing.
for a residency?
Of course it is. You know, Rose just did one of the biggest residencies in the history for a rap artist with Dre's. Our last performance, man, LeBron was at the door, James Harden, everybody was in there. It was just, people couldn't get in.
Hey.
It was oversold. Some of the biggest athletes in the world was outside. I saw homies DMing me. I thought everybody's shit got hacked that night. You know what I'm saying? One time for G Shiba, cryptocurrency, man, and the list goes on. But if it's something that I love, it's not work to me. I'm gonna wake up and squeeze it in there. I'm gonna rep it for no reason. Now,
have you ever done something?
What?
Have you ever done something just for a check? Yeah, just for a check and felt like it was a mistake?
I'm sure I've done something just for a check, because you're not gonna see everybody's vision. But do you respect the vision? You understand? Everybody not gonna see your vision. Everybody not gonna see your value. But do they respect it? That's what it's about. So have I done something for a check? I'm sure I have. But have I turned down a check? I done turned down big checks, 7 figures for a cigarette company. I told them I don't smoke squares, homie. I'm not even gonna push that. Cannabis I love. It helped me with my seizures. It helped me rest. It helped me with my diet. It could go on. It's a lot of positive things with that. But I don't smoke cigarettes. So I had to leave that. And I ain't gonna lie, that hurt Rose to leave that big bag on the table like that.
Your hustle determines your salary. Break that down, Rose.
Yeah, your hustle determines your salary. How hard do you really want to go? It's up to you. Have you ever even considered being an owner? Have you ever even thought about being a CEO? Or did you want to be the best employee? Because if you're a great employee, you most definitely could work your way up to being the CEO. Now it's just on you. How hard are you going to go? I went so hard at a point to where I began to have seizures, because for a decade I would only sleep for 2 and 3 hours. But this is what I wanted. I wanted one room in my crib to be like this. Just one room. But that's what I wanted. I wanted the wood floors to be oak. Oh man, what kind of tree is this? Yeah. You feel me? And I meant it. I meant it though. You feel me? When you look back there and see the wood horses that were shipped from wherever with the gold, that's what I wanted. But I meant it. I meant it. We wasn't bullshitting. I wasn't joking. So your hustle got to determine your salary. How hard you want to go? Do you want to be on a 1/4 acre? Or do you want to be on 400 acres? Because you could do it. You could do it.
Now, when you talk about yourself getting into the game, right, it took you 10 years, really, you talk about until hustling popped off. But during that time, you were really preparing yourself. You had a lot of ups and downs, and at certain points, it felt like, is this really going to happen? And so we always tell people, don't give up. You know, it's right around the corner. But is it ever time to tell somebody this might not be for you?
I wouldn't tell them that. I wouldn't have that on my conscience. Because I'm sure it's only so much. How long did somebody want to tell Rose that? When everybody was on the pool side at the pool, go, 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 go. And I'm the only one that's sitting there thinking about getting $1 million. Our city was twerking and chicks, and you know how many times I can only imagine somebody wanted to tell me that? Because there was so many people that turned their back on me. It was so many people that didn't help me. So I'm sure they wanted to say, God damn, homie, you talking about this and talking about that, man. This shit ain't nothing, man. Talk about the girls and all that. But God damn, how they feel now? How you feel? Can they even sleep at night? Well, if they can't sleep in the situation they in, I know they couldn't sleep with 20 million cash next to them.
Damn. Right. Let's talk about mastering the art of the L, Rose. I don't want to give the whole book away, but it's some good shit in here.
You got to master the art of the L. This is a great book. I suggest everybody go pick it up. But you got to master the art of taking the loss, because life is a beautiful struggle, brother, and you will take losses. You will take a loss. Now, how will you take that loss determines on, was it really a loss? You could have a fist fight and the motherfucker knock you out cold. But when you get right back up, let's run it again. You ain't did that shit. Damn, did he really take a L? It's a difference. Rose done took a lot of L's, but was it really an L? Or was it really just experience? Was it really knowledge? Because I never got up from a situation that held my head down. I always shit, I'm gonna dust my ball main off and shit, I'm gonna go get it. And when I think about it, that's what I came in the game looking for. I came in the game looking for the L. What's happening? Shit, I done been on the sideline for 15 years. What's next? I'm going for the top. And whoever don't like it, boy, they gotta feel me. And that's what it was, because I had to master the L so long before. I never had that fear. And I can only imagine trying to be great or trying to work your way up to the top. If you fear losing, you may not make it. Because you're gonna be scared to do a bunch of different shit.
What's been your biggest L, Rose?
What's been my biggest L? I don't know. Rose done had a few of them. And I'm still here. You know, a lot of times I done told myself, I was just writing a rhyme the other night and I said, you was born dead, but you still breathing. So was you really? I don't know. I'm still here.
Yeah, one thing that is interesting is you do address a lot of things in this book that I'm sure you like, man, this was unfortunate when this happened. Like you even discussed the whole CO situation. You discussed everything, you know, with Vlad. And one thing I wanted you to touch on more was getting on a better terms with Tia, right? Your child's mother, because right. You guys are co-parenting successfully now. And I know a lot of people would love to know, how can I get over this? We hear so much drama with people raising kids and having to go through it. And you very publicly went through that. So how do you guys get on the same page and move past that?
To me, it was always to me, you know, and she, you know, to me, it was always, she loved the boy. She wanted to be with the boy. And a lot of times women don't know how to express themselves. But look at me, this Rose, who wouldn't go through that? Angela, you would, come on, Angela, you know what you would do, this Rose, come on. But, you know, and she was there during when I had COVID. She was one of the ones who came over and brought me my ginger, boiled this, boiled that, and showed a lot of love. But once again, like I said, the things we go through, is it really an L after you've mastered it? Mm-hmm. After you've mastered, I'm sure if I asked her to marry me today, she would say, I do. So after you go through certain things, is it really an L? A lot of times it may be something you don't understand at the time, or others may not understand. But hold your head up and go through it.
What did you learn from the loss of the good brother Bo? I think yesterday was his born day, right?
Who?
Black Bo.
Oh, rest in peace to Black Bo. You know, that was my brother. Yesterday was his born day, man. And losing Black Bo, man, just waking up in the house and my brother was no longer with us. That was painful. You understand? Losing somebody that you already anticipate, man, we gonna be old. We gonna have our fishing boats. We gonna go down there and buy us we gonna build us a estate on down there in Alabama somewhere where that rivers be, and you could go get them big bass. But hey, man, like I said in the caption when I posted the picture, time is so valuable, and I talk about that in the book as well. To me, time is the most valuable asset you will ever have control of, because every man and woman at some point, there will come a time where you will want some more time.
Yeah, that's chapter 5, don't waste your time.
We ain't got no time to waste. So we gonna wake up every morning and go hard. We gonna rep, we gonna do what we do, and we gonna elevate it. And to me, don't measure your success based on gold and money. Just measure your success based on happiness. Did you accomplish what you set out to accomplish? Did you waste your time? Because wasting your time gotta be painful at some point.
How did you feel, Ross, when Drake called you the greatest rapper alive?
You know, honestly, you know, I didn't just take that to my gut, because a lot of times we feel that way about a lot of different artists. And what I think that was he was sitting in the studio that night listening to that verse in that beat as he was writing his verse for the record that we got on his album. And when he made that statement, I took a picture with an artist he working with, and I think he may have been in the studio listening to that shit saying, boy, Rose the greatest, you know what I mean? I ain't take it, too serious. I just took it as, that was that zone he was in at the time.
Now you have your mom and your sister working with you on your franchises, and that's a great team for you, right? You said they know more about the business as far as the Wingstops than you do. So how important is it for people to have a great team around them? Because that's something that you can't do things just all by yourself as an individual. You do need a great team.
It won't happen if you don't have a great team. And that's something that we had to learn through experience. For you to have a franchise, you buy your franchise, you got to have a great manager. You got to have a great manager. You understand? And you got to have a great team around it, or it won't happen. You can have all the paper in the world, but you will be to carry everything. That'll be coming out your pocket every month if your team not making sure you winning and your numbers on top, because this is a numbers game.
So Ross, go ahead.
I was just going to say, what are some tips to building that great team, though? Because that's a real difficult thing for people. How can I find people I trust around me? How do I know, how do I know when to get rid of people? How do I know who to elevate in my squad? That's not easy.
It's not easy at all. But personally, let's start with the ones around you. Let's give the ones around you opportunity. If they blow it, that's them. Let's keep moving. Let's start with the ones around you. Let's inspire the ones around you. You understand? If you got ones that understand the role and the position and how valuable this could be for everybody over the long term, not just you. This ain't just about me being on the blog saying I own this and that, but nah, this for all us. Anybody that's in a family can have an opportunity to have a job, can have the opportunity to work up to a manager, can have the opportunity to work up and goddamn by their own if they want to. This could be valuable for us all. So start with everybody around you. And if they drop the ball, shit, keep going until we find it. And we ain't gonna stop till we find the ones that we need.
I wanted to ask you, Ross, because Drake said what he said about you being the greatest rapper. When you approach the studio, you don't feel that way? You don't want your name in those conversations?
That's cool when your name in those conversations, but when I approach the studio, I already know I'm the biggest boss. I already know what it is. I already know when I get on the record. It's hard for anybody to survive with Rose on the record. But guess what? I done collaborated with some greats. I done collaborated with Hov, with Nas, with Kanye, with Drake, with Weezy, and the list goes on. And like I said, when you in a certain vibe, in a certain zone, I done got to the homies' verses, and damn, I love how he did that. He killed that. And that's fine. But just honestly speaking, since me coming in the game at 06, me getting on records, I done carried my weight the whole time. So that ain't even nothing that I'm really tripping about. When I get love from my brothers, that's always a genuine thing that you appreciate, but I give that love back. When I get those verses back, when I talk to the homie, when I do this, when I do that. Last night when I was talking to Pharrell in the middle of the night, something else we got coming up, it's just, we give each other that love when you earn it.
When people talk about, they be like, yo, Ross and Jay-Z make great records. Ross and Nas make great records. Ross and Drake make great records. The one constant in all those conversations is Ross.
Without a doubt.
So it's just like, yo, you have to put yourself in that same space with those greats, right?
I do get those conversations. I ain't even tripping. I do get those conversations. It is people that tell me all the time, Rose, you the greatest. Rose, you to this. Rose, you to that. There ain't nobody ever been more consistent than Rose on the feature. Rose albums is this and that. Rose, and those are legitimate feelings, but that ain't what I'm focusing on. Cause I still got some swag to give them. Richer than I ever been, for the most definitely drop bricks on the block. And if anybody was tripping or thinking it ain't finna come, it's finna come. And shit, you gonna feel it.
I don't know.
What I mean? So I still got work to do.
Out of those three, if you had to executive produce a whole project with one of them, which one would you choose? Jay, Nas, or Drake?
Jay, Nas, or Drake? Well, Drake. I take Drake.
Okay.
Because those are conversations, for one, me and Drake, that, a project, me and him having a project, those are conversations we've had. That's who I've spent the most time with. And I most definitely, the sound, I would love to push, from him rapping that hard shit to him harmonizing over that, that melodic sound that I love as well. I would love to just try to push it even further. So yeah, I say Drizzy.
Yeah, I was saying this morning I want to hear a Drake album executive produced by Kanye West, but man, I can imagine you in the studio too. Like, that would be something special.
You never know. You never know. You never know.
What were your thoughts watching all this Kanye and Drake back and forth and everybody on social media weighing in?
I was just enjoying it. I was smiling. I never took none of that shit personal. Dude's rich, man. I don't even think they tripping about that shit, man. I'm gonna just be honest. I don't think they tripping about that shit. Come on, man. Ye having listening events at the Mercedes-Benz, Don. And you're doing this in memory of your mom. It's in memory of your mom. To me, that's priceless. You got the world, paying homage to the spirit and the legacy of your mother. That was the most important part of it to me. Then going to the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, where I'm sure 30 or 40, 50 years ago, a black man couldn't do nothing but sweep outside. And now he just sitting there not even talking to the crowd, to the audience, just giving you an opportunity to listen to the music. That was legendary. And nobody could take nothing away from that.
Yeah, I want to see them work together, man. I want to see a Kanye album written by Drake, and I want to see a Drake album produced by Kanye. That's what I want to see.
I might need to make that call.
I think it makes sense.
Rose could make that call.
I think it's worth it, man. I think it's worth it. Now you got a chapter, bosses stay students. Break that down.
As a boss, you got to remain a student. And the example I would always use is when I walk into one of my franchises, if the floor needs to be swept, I grab the broom myself versus calling somebody over from the register to sweep the floor. So the position I'm in, I'm always eager to learn. So me having 20 partnerships, when I come sit at the table, a lot of times I'm learning from the masters. Burner is the master when it comes to cannabis, when it comes to the breeders, when it comes to the strands, when it comes to crossbreeding, something that took 3 years for us to grow, and we finna smoke it right now. I'm watching, I'm learning, I'm a student of this. And that's what I do anytime I'm really at the table when it comes to the business. I'm the best at what I do, but I'm also a student when I'm sitting next to somebody that's the best at what they do. And I suggest that's what we all remain.
Now, Rose, speaking of partnerships, how important is it to have the right woman in your life by your side when it comes to supporting you and all these things that you're doing and you supporting her as well?
And the older I get, the more valuable I understand a real woman and that one woman is by your side. Because as a boss and as a grown man, when you stop playing those games, you falling asleep hearing those words being mumbled to you, hearing some of that great advice being whispered to you as you falling asleep can be so priceless. So I understand what it is. And I suggest, as young hustlers and entrepreneurs, you live how you want to live until it's time to really commit to that one. And once you get that one, once you know you've got that one, you got to hold her high.
What do you think is the best advice you've gotten from a woman you've dated?
That's a great question. I don't have none right off the top. I don't.
You've learned a lot, though.
Yeah, I'm sure I have. I'm sure I have, but I believe they may have learned a lot more from Rose.
Now, Raw, what about the music, man? When Richer Than I Ever Been coming?
You know, we expect to hear something from me in the next 2 weeks. You know, I'm happy Drizzy got his project out because I'm finna get ready and roll, you know what I mean? And next year, you know, I'm just excited for everything that's coming. But before the year out, you'll get Richer Than I Ever Been. So in the next 2 weeks, get ready. Get ready for a record, a single, some more details. It's time.
Does releasing albums even still excite you? Are them ribbon cuttings at them businesses excite you more nowadays?
I'm gonna be honest, man. Making my music still excite me.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's really that's my love and passion for real. Is my music my most valuable asset any longer? It's not. I make a lot more money doing other things. But is it something that drives me the most and I do get excited about? I do. I still get up and listen to the youngsters' music, the youngsters' album. Oh, the little homie got his album coming out, you know what I mean? Oh, who that is? Yeah. I still do that. I do.
Your first deal with Def Jam, Ross, I was having a debate yesterday. You know, this is a little light hip-hop conversation. I always thought Hov was the one who signed you to Def Jam. Somebody told me last night it was Shakir. God bless the dead. Who was it?
Rest in peace, Shakir Stewart. Shakir Stewart is the one who did all the groundwork to get me in the Def Jam office. That's who flew to Miami as I was sitting in the studio at Circle House, and was because you got to remember at the time it was a huge bidding war going on, and there was a lot of money on the table coming from 10 different labels. Mm-hmm. Shakir Stewart, the one that, because I wasn't just finna be flying out nowhere. I'm like, yo, Shakir Stewart, the one that came back and forth for I don't know how long and got me to come to Def Jam offices. And when I walked in with Shakir Stewart, it was Jay-Z and L.A. Reid sitting there, and we sat down, and I was just like, okay, what type of money we talking about? Okay, that's cool, but do y'all see my vision and my pace for how I move? Okay, that's cool too. Okay, Jay, I need you on this remix. Every day I'm hustling, baby, and shit. We made everything happen, but most definitely, without a doubt, I would hang that medal around Shakir Stewart neck.
Okay, because I thought it was Bleak. They said, always heard the story about Bleak heard you and told Jay about you.
And that's true as well.
Okay.
That's true as well. Memphis Bleak and State Property was recording at Circle House Studios, and that's when we had a battle. We battled. It was myself versus State Property, and Beans kind of just sat back and was watching me. And Freeway and everybody else, it was just a lot of love. And this was around the time when Aaliyah was supposed to be flying back into Miami. That's when I heard about the Aaliyah situation. I was in the studio with State Property in Memphis Bleak and Rockefeller.
Wow. When you talk about speaking things into existence, I saw a video you did recently where you spoke about manifesting things into existence, and that's a chapter in the book. So when you think about those times, being in Circle House, did you envision all of this? Partners with 20 different businesses, all the platinum plaques, the gold. Did you see all that?
The mansions.
I didn't. What I wanted to see was me get the opportunity to put my vision and my heart on the table. That's what I wanted to do, to get that opportunity to show these dudes how hard, and what I was really about on the table. You know what I'm saying? Did I know it would get to this point? No, I didn't. I remember when I sat down with one of my business partners and he told me, this is going to be the most valuable asset you're a part of. And I remember laughing in his face. I said, boy, you must not know who you're talking to. Mm-hmm. I ain't a regular rapper. This ain't just show money and walk through money that you talking to. And man, this shit different. Rose, and I'm still going to get it. I still go get walk through money like I was only out for 2 years, 3 years. I don't believe in leaving nothing on the table. I believe in connecting with the streets, and it'll never change.
I saw recently people.
Rose gonna have $1 billion, and I'll still come do your walkthrough. You heard me?
I saw recently people were shocked that you fly private and that you have the John Deere and mow your own lawn. But when you read the book, you get to understand more of the mindset of why you do those things.
Right, without a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Without a doubt, let's remain hands-on. All y'all young hustlers that's listening to this, when you get home today, go clean that piss from behind your toilet. Go get that rust off the side of your mama house. You feel me? We got to remain hands-on. Let's handle our business. Let's go and get it. Ain't nothing changing.
Right.
Well, make sure y'all go get The Perfect Day to Boss Up, Rick Ross's new book. My man Neil Belkin is a co-author on this. Yeah, Neil's a good person, man.
Very good.
A Hustler's Guide to Building Your Empire. Ross, you one of my favorite people to watch, man. I love what you're doing, King.
You already know, man, the feeling's mutual. I'm always here. Let's keep going. Let's keep elevating, going to that next level, baby. And you need me, I got you.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Angela, you already know what it is. Angela, I need you to put some of this back there in the background. What I gotta do?
I got you. Yeah, you know, I'm at home.
This the #1 cognac in the world. I need you back there.
Oh, we don't got the cognac. We got Bel Air back there. We don't got none of the cognac, though.
I got Bamboo.
Send you this. This #1. This #1.
Let's try that. And listen, as an entrepreneur myself, I did find some valuable tips in this book. So I want to thank you for writing this. You know, I'm all about studying what other people have done to become successful and learning all the time. And I agree with you on all of those aspects of being an entrepreneur. So I'm always learning too. I'm always a student. So thank you so much for this.
Man, I appreciate it. And I'm always remain a student of you guys. So here we are.
Yes, sir. It's Rick Ross. It's The Breakfast Club.